So we are going to begin with live streaming. What is live streaming? Live streaming is the method of data transmission used when someone watch video on the internet. I'm going to go to the second paragraph. Live streaming is when the streamed video is sent over the internet in real time without first being recorded and stored. Today, TV broadcast, video game stream, and social media video can all be live streamed. Think about the different method between regular streaming and live streaming, as the difference between an actor reciting a memorized monologue and improvising a speech. How does live streaming work? These are the main steps to take place between the scene in a live stream: compression, encoding, segmentation, content delivery network distribution, CDN caching. Now, this theoretical part, this is the part that most people that does this job, they lack. Now, the difference between an expert, an artisan, somebody that works on the street, is because an expert has the theoretical part and also the technical part. Most people, they fail to master the theoretical part. They fail, no, university days that they teach you theory. As they say, then they leave the practical and say, I need the practical. But sometimes your depth knowledge about the theoretical part of any job you are doing will make you a better person in the practical part. Because if you don't have depth knowledge, if you face serious challenge in the practical part, it's the theoretical part you know that you can apply at that moment. So practical is that they tell you do this, and you put it in the back of your mind and you do it. But the theoretical part is the part that will tell you the detail about what you are doing and how to apply it. So when somebody is giving you the theoretical part, or maybe detail about what everything is about, pay attention to it. The reason why I'm saying that, people will say, I thought this is going to show us. I will show you. It doesn't take time to show you. But most times you will fail to understand that this theoretical part is even more important than the practical part. Yes, I can tell you that because from experience. How does live streaming work? So these are the main things that happens during live stream. If you don't understand this thing, all you just do is just to click a button and you go live. But if you understand how this thing works, if you have challenges, you'll be able to solve it. Or if anything happens, you'll be able to walk back the step and solve it. So we have compression, we have encoding, we have segmentation, we have content delivery network, we have CDN cache, we have decoding. Now, from your own, the compression, the encoding will be done by you. The segmentation is not done by you. The content delivery is not done by you. The CDN caching is not done by you. The decoding is not done by you. But the compression has to be configured by you because you are the one that is producing the live stream. The encoding will also be done by you because you are the one that is sending the information. But the segmentation of the information they have sent to the live stream will be done by the network which you are using to do the live stream. The live streaming starts with a raw video data. Usually the visual information captured by a camera within the between a computing device to which the camera is attached. This visual information is represented as a digital data. In other words, ones and zero at the deepest. Now, the video capturing is either done by, like those of us that are going to be using phone to live stream, it's going to be done by your phone camera, your phone and the camera, right? Then the compression. Let's go up to the compression. So the compression and encoding part is the part that which the video will be compressed so that it can be sent on the internet. So you have a part to play in the compression part. The part to play is if you are doing the live stream professionally, you have to set some certain data which will be sent over the internet so that it can be compressed and encoded for you. Then the segmentation part, video includes a lot of digital information, which is why it takes longer to download a video file than a short PDF. Streaming video is divided into small segments, a few seconds in length. Now, that is how the live streaming is being done. You know, live video, like what I'm doing now, I'm live streaming this particular workshop for those of you that are watching on Zoom. So I'm live streaming it already. So the video is being passed across to you in segments. It's not being given to you all at once so that you download. Even with a segmented video, you discover that we even have a little glitch from here. The thing went off and it came back on again. That should give you an impression that live streaming, it's being done segmentally. So if the network cannot pull what is coming to you, it will drop. So I'm going to go straight to the CDN distribution. This one is not done by you. It's done by the network provider. Either is in collaboration with the hosting platform and the network provider. While the live stream has been segmented, compressed, and encoded, all which all takes place a few seconds, it needs to be made available in dozens or millions of viewers who want to watch it in order to maintain high quality with minimal latency while serving the stream to multiple viewers in different locations. A CDN should distribute it. A CDN is a distributed network of servers that serve content on behalf of an original server. Using a CDN results in faster performance because user requests no longer have to travel all the way to the original server but can instead be handled by a nearby CDN server. Handling requests and deliver content in their manner also reduce the original server workload. Now, let me explain this in a layman language. Like now, most of us are accessing Facebook now. Facebook is in where? It's in US, right? We are not actually accessing Facebook server directly from US. There is a CDN. It's more like a port, a computer somewhere around this vicinity, Nigeria, West Africa. I think Facebook even have a CDN in Nigeria that serves everybody that is in Nigeria. So instead of you accessing Facebook all the way from US, internet does not mean that it doesn't travel. Distance does not matter. Distance actually matters when it comes to internet. So instead of distributing this video, instead of you accessing this live video I'm doing now, assuming we are doing it on Facebook, going to US to watch it in Nigeria, when I send it to you from here, when I want to even send it, I send it to the CDN then to US. When I send it to US will now send it back to the CDN around you where you are watching this video for now. Even Zoom has CDN all over the world, so that they'll be able to pass the video across to you, so that it will be easier for you to access it without spending so much, and it will be smoother than you going all over to it. You know what I mean now? The smoothness of the video is being made possible by the CDN. If you understand this, even starting your own live streaming network will be easier. Why is CDN important for live stream? I think I've explained that, why the CDN is important for live stream. The bandwidth, it drops. Any given point on the network can only have so much data pass through at a time. The measure is known by bandwidth. If a streaming of data reaches a point on the network where the amount of data exceeded capacity, this is called a choke point, because data delivery is choke off and slow down. This is what a CDN does. CDN will save you data. Browsing Facebook before by CDN, 3 years ago, you consume a whole lot of data. All the picture you want to download, you have to download into your phone. Everything has to be downloaded. So you discover that Facebook occupies so much space on your phone. Why? Because all the data has to be transferred to your phone so that it will be easier for you to access them. But right now, the invention of putting the CDN close, like this, is more like a simple diagram on how the live streaming is being done. The camera now will be your phone. There are some things, when we come to the phone part, I'll discuss about the phone part a little. But let's go through the professional part first. Now, if you discover there's a camera there, there's a capture card or box there. What is a capture card? I didn't explain during the presentation. That a capture card is more like a device that does the encoding for you, that converts that video you are sending into a file that can be sent to the computer, so that the computer can send it to the internet. So without that capture card, your computer will not even see the video coming from your camera. So that capture card you are seeing there is one of the most important things when it comes to live stream, especially when you are doing it with a camera and a computer. When cameras and computer comes in, you need a capture card. I will show you the picture of capture card. I will show you the picture of I think laptop. You already know laptop. I'll show you some pictures of capture card. I mean real capture card, not pictures anymore. I'll show you. You already know the other one. See, the only thing that some of you might not understand is the capture card. I'll show you how it looks like. Now, the capture card captures those videos you are sending from your camera into your computer. So without that capture card, you can't get your your video from your computer into your device. So you need capture card before you do live stream. So after the capture card, you will need a computer. After the computer, you will need another thing, which is internet. But an encoding software also has to be on your system. Capture card does more of compression, like compressing that video into a file that your computer can actually accept. Then encoding can be software and can be hardware. But for now, we are going to be looking at the software part first. The hardware part, I don't have any hardware encoder here. And the software part, it's on the computer. So that encoding you are seeing there is not another, it could be a hardware, but right now it's inside the computer. Then from the encoder to the live stream platform. So that live stream platform could be your Facebook, could be your Instagram, could be your YouTube, could be anywhere you're streaming to, could be anywhere you're streaming to, could be your Zoom. So what we are doing right now is we are using a professional camera, we are using a capture card, we are using a computer, and we have a Zoom software on the computer that is doing it. Are you with me? So if you notice carefully, you discover that if the encoder is off, that means I can't stream. Sorry, if the capture card is off, that means the capture card or box is off. That means streaming will not be possible. Now, this is the point. If I want to stream to Facebook now and I'm using a phone, you now say, will I now plug capture card? That is the first question. Like those of us that might be using phone after now. The answer is what? No, you don't need a capture card again since you are using what? A phone. A phone already have the camera installed on it. So the encoding, the capturing and the encoding is done on the phone. So if you are capturing with your phone, already, it captures, then the encoding is now done by the platform which you are sending it to. Facebook has an encoding software on their server. So when you send that video to your Facebook, what it does is this. It compresses that video and sends it to people that want to watch. So if somebody asks, how can I live stream in my church? The first thing you should ask, do you have a camera? They say yes. Do you have a capture card? You say yes. Do you have a computer? You say yes. That means you can stream. Do you have an internet? You know, there is one thing that is not here now. Internet, right? Your router or your Wi-Fi, your internet. We'll talk about that later. So if they have all these things already, that means they can stream. Basically, let me use the word bait, but there are other things that involve this. I'm not going to talk when the same thing you are seeing here now, multiple camera live stream. You discover on that diagram, you are seeing two camera, then two capture card. Let me zoom in a little so that you can see properly. You are seeing two camera, two capture card. So the same way, if you are streaming and you want to do two cameras without a mixer, you can have two capture card connected to that computer, and you are sending your two feed with your cable to the capture cards. Are you with me? So with this now, send it to another software which you send to Facebook or to wherever I want to stream. So this is more like the advanced. This is the part that we are now. We the professional are now. We connect all our cameras to we call it a switcher, a video switcher. What you are seeing at the top there, a video switcher. This is a video. This thing I'm zooming in now so that you'll be able to see a video switcher. With this video switcher now, all my cameras, instead of me plugging, the former one you saw, there is two capture cards. Instead of me having 2 or 3 capture cards, I have only this device. Only this device. This device will take the feed from my camera. Look at it. Look at this. Look at follow my mouse. Look at this into the one of the ports. This is a converter. Convert, then send into another port. This is another one straight into the port. This is another one. Even computer, so they can even bring computer into another one. So this goes into the multi-view for me to see whatever I'm mixing. So you get the point. So this is more like the advanced one. We will still talk about it for those people that want to learn the advanced one. All right. So this is your encoder. Please move my this thing right now. This is your encoder. This is a 4-channel mixer. It comes in different brand, come in different pack. So this now with this, I can have 4 cameras. You have HDMI 1, 2, 3, 4. So that means I can bring in 4 cameras here. We have a 6 channel mixer. We have an 8 channel mixer. But this right now is a 4 channel mixer. So this can take in 4 cameras. 4 cameras. So instead of me doing like that thing I showed you before, instead of me doing 4 capture card, this is the capture card, something like this. So with this now, this is a HDMI cable. No, professional camera, like the camera I'm using now. I think some of you understand. You know what is this, right? This is an HDMI cable, right? You understand? This is an HDMI cable. Focus. This is an HDMI cable. So this HDMI cable now, look at the head. With this HDMI cable, I can connect to this and connect this to the camera. So with this now, this goes into, put full. Don't zoom in again. This goes into my USB port. This goes into what? The camera. So whatever the camera is seeing, it's what the system will see. Like what you are seeing now, this connection I just did, look at this thing, look at what is this. This is exactly what we are using. This port now goes into the camera that you are seeing now. This part, this USB, goes into the laptop. If I'm using 2, the same thing. That's if I'll bring another one of these. One goes into one camera, so one goes into the USB, right? Then the other one goes into, you plug the other capture card now, goes to another USB. Then the rest of the work will be done by the software. Are you with me? We'll talk about that. So that means with this, now if I'm using this now, let's talk about this. If I'm using this one now, which is the professional thing to do, if I'm using 2 cameras, I don't need this. I don't need this. I don't need only one of these. So I'll keep this aside. I plug this. If I'm using this now, I don't need too many capture cards. Now the disadvantage of using too many capture cards, it can get hot and it start tripping off on your computer. Initial stage of my business, that's why I said this thing, I learned it from, like I started this business from like a nobody, like capture card, so many capture cards. So we upgraded, start buying mixers because the challenges are so many. So if you have this now, you have another HDMI cable, you know all these things are cameras. I'm plugging all these to cameras. So I'll plug another one here again to the ports, right? And this principle, what I'm doing now, applies to any mixer that you have, whether it's this type or any type, because they will always have HDMI 1, HDMI 2, HDMI 3, HDMI 4, HDMI 5, HDMI 6, or SDI 1, SDI 2, SDI, depending on the plug that they have there. All you need to do, make sure you are seeing in. So you plug in one, plug in the second HDMI, then if it's 4, you know what I mean now, you plug the 4. Then, you will, on the mixer, you still have another one called PGM or out, whatever the case may be. Just ask the person that owns the box, just PGM or out, HDMI out or SDI out. So you plug this. Now, with this now, this is the one that we plug into your capture card, the in of the capture card. So this will go into your camera. So instead of me having 1, 2, 3 capture cards, I'll just have only one capture card with this device. The 4 cameras, depending, comes into this. Then it sends all of them to one capture card. Then it takes it into my laptop. So this will handle most of the switching. Like if I want camera 1 to show, I press camera 1. If I want camera 2 to show, I press camera 2. If I want camera 3 to show, I press, and the numbers are there. If you notice, they are there. They are seeing 1, 2, 3, 4 because there are 4. So if I want 1 to show, I press 1. If I want 2 to show, I press 2. If I want 3 to show, I press 3. If I want 4 to show, I press 4. Just like you'll be switching, like in your church. Some of you that use this in your church. You see one camera will be showing the pastor, the next thing, the person will raise up behind and see. So what they are doing that they are mixing this. You can also do this with multiple capture card. But this is the more easier and more advanced way of getting it done. What I just told you now is simple. You capture your device, your camera can capture your video and your audio and send it to your system. But the problem will be if I'm taking what I'm saying now, if he's taking it and sending it to you, it will not be clear. Like you can hear me clearly, right? If you're hearing me on Zoom, you can hear me clearly. The point is this: we are using a wireless microphone attached to my belt, like what they use in movies, right? Look at the mic here. You're hearing purple. So it sends the signal wirelessly to that. There's a box. The show them. Look at it here. This is it. This send it to here. Then this into this box and into the system. I could actually plug this direct to the system, but since we have the equipment, we'll just use it like that. So you're sending it to this box and into the come back. So I'll explain that too. So the audio can only be sent. You can send the audio through 2 ways. Either directly into the camera, into the system, or separately. I'm sending video separately, I'm sending audio separately. So anyone that works for you is fine. You get the point? Anyone that works for you is fine. So my audio transmitter, he gave me this to show you. This is another audio transmitter, my lapel mic. So this transmitter is always on the person talking. The receiver is always on the receiving camera. This can be on the camera, this can be on the system, depending on what you want to use. So this sends the video, audio, then send it to that, and then capture into this thing. So we're going to have our first connection. Remember, you need a capture card, you need a camera, you need cables. Now, the length of the cable matters also. Let me say this before we proceed. You need to take note of this. The length of the cable matters. Let me give you a general rule. If you are doing HDMI, turn it this way. If you are doing HDMI, any cable that is above 10 meters must be original HDMI, either a 4K cable. That is number one. Any cable, you can't buy like these cables now, they are cheap cables because they are short cables, so they do not have any issue. Even to 10 meters, like the one we are using 10 meters. But anything you are doing above 10 meters and you didn't buy original HDMI, you have issue with your connection. Because HDMI cables, if it's not original copper or if the resistance to current is not high inside, if it gets hot, it start breaking, the picture will start breaking. So that's why you must buy original HDMI. Even at high temperature, you can still pass the video because you are transmitting heavy data of videos through this cable. So the general rule is this: if you are buying HDMI and it's above 10 meters, make sure you ask for original 4K HDMI. 4K HDMI. So even with 4K HDMI, if you are doing anything above 25 meters, you even be at a risk of losing your signal too. So you need to write this down, very important. It's technical. Anything above 20 meters, 25 meters, you're at a risk of losing signal after a while for your video. You can use the longer one for if you're transmitting to your screen and the rest. But if it comes to video, 4K HDMI, not above 25 meters, to just give yourself that. So that means if the distance you want your cable to run to is above 20 to 25 meters, HDMI is not your best option. The question you should ask me is that which cable will I now use? Now, there's what we call SDI. We don't have that mixer here that does SDI. It's like an AV, the same type of cable, high-speed cable too. But the head is different. That one can do almost 100 to 300 meters without losing signals. let me talk a little about the system. The system you use. Your system you use also matter. Write this down. The system you are supposed to use, I'm just going to be giving you standard for it because this is it's a crash course. The system you use, minimum, please, should be a Core I series. Core I series, either Core i3, Core i5, Core i7, Core i9 should be Core I series because you can actually expand their RAM, they have better video capability. Like they are capturing the video graphics card is sound. So Core I series sometimes the best is higher. The higher the Core I series. We have Core i5, Core i3, Core i5, Core i7, Core i9. I think we have Core i9 now. So anyone the higher. So if you have money to go to Core i9 better. If you have Core i7 better. If you have Core i5 better. If you have Core i3, you still work for what you want to do. But if you go higher, like this system now is Core i7. It's a workstation. This can do up to 4 capture cards without issue. But there are some systems like this one now, 2 can do 2. Like this, the one they are using here can't even do capture card. No, this can do capture card. This is Core i3 now. This one can do capture. It's all here that one that can't do any of the capture card. So you now discover that she can't, all this training where she dey learn, na not where she goes and do with that her laptop. But this can do with her own laptop. Me, I can do, that other laptop can work. There's another laptop we have here, can't do because it can't do capture card. The graphics is not good. So the point is this, invest in good laptop professionally. When we come to phone, any the phone you have will work. But now, remember this training is not for you, phone users alone. It's for professionals too. It's recorded for people that are watching online too, for people that are going to. So the point I'm trying to make is this. After investing in good system, Core I series, remember Core I series, like Core i3, Core i5, Core i7, Core any of them. So dual core can still work, but I'm just saying, dual core and Core I series, the difference might just be 30,000. So let's do the connection. Now, the rule is this. Yes, if Core I series normally the RAM that they normally put it if they are 4 gig, the minimum is they remove put 2 gig. But I believe anybody that is using Core I series, they put 4 gig, add the money for it. But you can upgrade. But with that, if you just buy Core i3, come with 4 gig minimum. The hard drive does not really matter for this now. But the RAM and the graphics card is the most important. But first 4 gig we go. 4 gig we go. So let's go on. So I'm going to do the setup now. Just one camera setup. Simple one camera setup. Now, this is part of the training too, but I'll just do it quickly. I'll show you. I'm going to transmit my screen. Capture card now, because we're already live, I can't start turning off the system. I'm supposed to turn off the system and turn it back on so that we should be able to reconnect the capture card. But that is the problem. You now see that there is a problem using multiple capture cards. As I've removed it, I want to put it back now. It's not showing. And the event is live now. So that means I'm stuck with only one capture card. But imagine I'm using this. It can't go wrong. So that's why you should advise your church, please, they should invest in hardwares. So multiple capture card can fail. That means I have to shut down the computer, restart the system, plug the capture card back again. It will now reboot the drivers. But now I'm stuck. So now this is where the professionalism comes. That is the reason why you pay for this training. So I'm going to transfer my screen to that laptop using another software wirelessly over the internet. I think you want to learn that too. So you can do the only thing I needed to use capture card so that I'll show you multiple capture card. But let's do it now. So this one now I might not be able to show you. You might not be able to see what I'm doing because my screen is not showing now. So I'll just be explaining, maybe you'll be writing. I'll show you later. So let's do this. A lot to learn. So I'm going to be explaining this. It's very simple. It's a very simple routine. The software you need for what I want to do now, I want to transfer my screen wirelessly to the live streaming system there. So the software you need is called OBS Ninja. Write that one down. When we have challenges like this, I'll just use and train you immediately. Man, no can leave later. So you can install it, you can use your browser base. So I'll show you quickly. It's now called Electron, but OBS Ninja. If you type OBS Ninja in your browser, you see it. So with this OBS Ninja now, I can share my screen directly to that system. They're very easy. I do it in less than 30 seconds. And it's fast, super fast. No, so now you can view my screen. Pass, just pass. So I want to type OBS Ninja.
Do you need internet to run?
Yes, what I just did is I'm transmitting my screen now over the internet. Isn't that cool? So now in answer for your church, you can do. He was asking that we have to use different capture card. Right now in your church, you can just have a system that has good internet. This thing has good internet. Then you send scripture over the internet. So I can open my scripture software and share it over the internet. Isn't that cool? Very cool. So the setup was done in less than how many seconds? Less than 30 seconds. You know that I was talking, right? So that is what I'm going to be using now. So you're going to be seeing my screen. Go back to my video. You're going to be seeing my screen. You're going to be seeing my video. So that if I'm doing anything on my screen, you see. If I'm doing anything physically, you see, right? I think that will be better. So first of all, before you connect everything that you need for your live stream, before you connect it, make sure your system is ready for live stream. These are the prep you need to do for your system. Number one is this. Make sure your system does not have virus, does not have all those, like as you are typing something will just pop up. All those things, it will disturb your live stream. Make sure your system is clean. So if you're using any system, you're going to use any system for your live stream, make sure the system does not have virus, does not have any issue, it's not slow. So let's go. So our camera is set. I'm going to put in my battery on my camera. Remember, your battery must be fully charged. All your batteries must be fully charged. The camera must be live streaming ready. There are different cameras for live streaming. Not all cameras are good for live streaming. I'll mention them. All right, so this system is ever ready. This system that is here is ever ready because it's a workstation, Core i7, 16 gig RAM, video card of 6 gig, 4 gig, I can't remember, 4 gig. So it's ever ready. It's not slow. As you tap, they work. So I don't have issue with my system. This camera is here, they misbehave, but now I don't sort them. This card, I believe it will work here because I've not used it here today. So my cable, based on the last time we used it, is working. You must test before you go work. Some of you are going to for yourself, test a day before live, make sure you test everything. So my cable is working, my capture card should be working. What again? My lights, make sure the pad is not carrying lights when you are going live. All right, so now there's another rule I used to tell people, but if you are using a very good system, it doesn't really matter. If you are using a good system, normally if your system, whether you're using the good or the bad system, make sure your capture card is before you turn it on. Plug, like now the capture card is plugged, right? It's plugged. This capture card is a very serious issue. Capture card now it's plugged. Then what else should be plugged? Sound. So if I want to get my sound into this system now without using coming from the mixer, I need to plug in my sound. Now there are two devices you can use. There's what we call sound card. You understand that you're a DJ. You understand sound card. What sound card does is that instead of me using this big one the one we are using is a professional one. You can use this something like this, just 1,000 naira. So there's a one that is cheaper, that is 700. I think when we're buying it was 500. This just 500. With this, I can capture my sound into the system without using that advanced one. But there are some laptops, like this laptop we are using to do this, has a sound card inside. So it has two ports. The port to plug your earpiece, like your headphone. This one mic, one is for headphone. So the same thing that is here is on that laptop. But this other laptop, since it's an advanced laptop, I believe if you buy this laptop, you are an advanced person. So they didn't put all those features. So you need to have something like this to get your audio, if you're going to get your audio differently. Get the point? And this will go into, since it's an USB 2, into another port. I need just my camera capture card. This, my sound card is already plugged. This is for my sound. This is for what? Video. This is for sound. This is for video. So I plug this on a different port. Please connect the plugin. It's not the best practice to plug your video and your sound in the same port. Not the same port, the same line. Normally what I do is this. If you understand the USB architecture of a system, that comes like this type of system comes with USB 3.0 and USB 2.0. This system has one USB 2.0 which is on this side. One has USB 3.0. These two USBs, I have to be a little bit technical so that you understand what we are doing. These two USBs, one is faster, one is slower. This capture card works better on 3.0, which is the faster part of the USB. Why? This can work on 2.0. So instead of me plugging the two on 3.0 so that they'll be sharing power, remember USB uses power. So I plug this on 2.0, plug this one on 3.0. So the power is 2.0 and 3.0, they are not using power line. So it's being shared differently. So this draws its own power, this draws its own power, so they don't get, that issue. I'm plugging it in this part. This part of this system, I think this port and this port is 3.0. This is only one port of 2.0 that we have here, but I'm just going to leave this for now because the system can carry. Even though I plug 3.0 device on all the 3.0, it still work because it's a workstation. Now, this is the point. Now, I plug my capture. Remember I said let your system be turned off so that let it boot all the device at once. So when it's turned on, the same thing, plug on your capture card, you always see either an arrow in or out. If it's USB, you see in, you see arrow going in or arrow going out. You plug it on the in. But on this one, they wrote out in. Is the in, you are bringing video in, right? So you plug it on the video in. Are you with me? So this is plug. This is already plugged already, right? So what is remaining? My sound. So I'm going to use this. So I'm going to assume this is where my source, my sound source will come from. So I'm going to plug this to the sound source. So if I'm doing, let me give you an example again. If I want to get this audio, like the way I'm doing, if I'm going to get my audio from like if it's in a church or in an event, I want to get the audio from mixer, like from your system. All I need is a cable that can plug to your own and plug to this one. The two head has to be compatible. One will be able to plug to the input I have here. One will be able to plug to your own. So the length of the cable you can sort that one out. That's all. So if you can get a sound in, that is all you need. That is all you need. But for now, since except I bring this one from there and plug it here. But I don't want to break the sound. So I'll just assume this is my sound source. So I'm going to plug it as the sound source into the system. So I have this as my sound source, this is my video source, and I have the system ready to work. Yeah. So let's assume you don't have OBS on your system because this is assuming that none of you have an idea of what's going on. Please, if you can jot. You're going to go to Google, type OBS. Let me blow the screen a little. Type OBS download, just like the way you download. Depending on your window, like I'll just type download. It loads the window. The first one you see, the first website you see is obsproject.com, which is the site you use to download the OBS. It's free. Told you it's free. OBS Studio, latest version. You go to your Windows, depending on the window you are using, it shows you, look at now, it's trying to download. Look at it on the screen. I'm using a download manager, so I can start downloading. But I already have it on the system, so I don't need to download it again. So I cancel. When you get a new OBS, this is the step you need to take. Quick one you need to do is you create a profile, write it down. You create a profile. When you want to set up your OBS, you need to create a profile for almost all the streaming you are going to do with this software. The essence is that so that when I was starting this job, I discovered that I was using profile. after 2 or 3 use, I discovered the profile will start glitching, the OBS start glitching. So what I now start, I will uninstall the OBS, install it back. Uninstall it back. Then I went to do more research. There has to be a way. I forgot, when sometimes this thing, if you don't make more research, I now discovered that every event you have to do, normally if you have the time, create new profile for all the events. Create new profile for them. So if you are doing an event for DJ skill, you create. If I'm doing an event for Lager, I create. So you understand, so that the setup will be fresh. So let's get that aside. Then the next thing I want us to pay attention to is the profile. So I'm going to click. If you check the top, normally if you download this thing afresh, it will not look like this. The way it's looking, we are using this already. That's why it's looking like this. So if you download your own afresh, it will not be looking like this. So first thing you need to do, anyhow your own is looking at. Let me even remove all these things so that you don't get confused. Let me remove this. Let me remove everything here. So this is how it will look. My own, I've done so many things on it. So first thing you need to do is to go to profile, new. So I'm going to type a unique name. So I'm going to type video marketing, video M1. Let me say video M1. I copy it. I select, copy. Okay. I'll create the profile. If you check up, you see profile, video M1. Scene is still the former scene. So I'm going to go to scene. When you create a profile, you must create a scene. When you create a profile, you must create a scene. So you go to scene, new scene, press copy and paste, just type scene in front. If not, you tell you that a name still exists. So just okay. It comes to as if it's a new installation. Normally, when you download your OBS and you install it, run it, this is how it's supposed to look. Plain, nothing will be there. Or it will look like this. Nothing will be there. Like this, it's not in studio mode. If you want to show the two sides, it's now in studio mode. So like this. Are you with me? To be plain. So now I'm going to switch to mode now. Go back again. Now let me just explain some part for you. Look at this part. Watch my screen. Please watch. Follow my mouse. Check this part. Look at this. You are seeing scene, source, right? This is preview. This is program. These are all buttons. Don't worry. It's very easy. They are very, very simple to understand. I don't want you to get confused now. You look at here. No source selected. Now everything you are going to do on OBS or on any of this is another thing. This is an encoding software. Remember I told you about encoding, that your system has to do the encoding before you send it to the OBS, an encoding software. It will encode the video that is being sent to. After the compression is done by the capture card, the OBS does the encoding. So the OBS needs to be configured properly for the encoding to take place. So click the scene comes with one scene. The scene is more like the collection of different sources that you are going to be displaying. But let me make it very simple. Since it's one camera, so I'm going to right click on the scene, the first scene that is there. I'm going to rename it to camera 1. Camera 1. Okay. Now, every scene must have a source. Now, this is where our source is going to be coming from. Our capture card, the video source. Our audio, this is where it's going to come from. So we need to identify those sources in our OBS. If not, we will not be able to see. Like now, you can't see the camera now. You can't see either the camera is on, the audio mic is okay, it's on now, but you can't see anything. Why? Because it's not configured yet. That's what we are doing. So we need to make sure we have our audio source in and our video source in. So the camera 1 now, I will bring the audio source in. I press this plus button. This plus button down here. It will show me audio input, audio output, but that is not my business. The first business I need to do is video capture device. This is what the video capture device is about. Remember I told you about this is a capture card. So I need to make sure this video capture device is seen by OBS. If it's not seen, we have to change it. So I'm going to select the video capture device. When I select the video capture device, to show me the create and select source. So I'm going to say OK. So it pop out this window. By default, it will turn on my webcam. You can see me drinking water. All right. But it's not the webcam I want to use. I want to use my capture card. So I'm going to go to, if you see on the screen, I believe you are seeing it properly. If you go to the screen, you see device. So I'm going to click on that icon again, somewhere here. I'll look for the capture card name. And the capture card I'm using now is USB video. Not the Streamlabs OBS, not the OBS virtual. It's not the HP HD webcam, which is my webcam. So I'm going to select that. When I select that, the screen will start seeing my camera. Now you are seeing, right? So you are seeing the camera. Let me bring it down a little. I think you can see DJ Skills. You have not been seeing him since. You're seeing the camera now. So the next thing I need to do is to configure it properly. Now there are a whole lot of things here. You don't need to bother yourself so much about. The whole lot of things here. This is what you should be concerned about. It's configuring your capture card properly. So I'm going to go to this box. Leave the deactivate, configure video. Just leave all those ones. What you should be more concerned about is resolution and FPS type. Resolution and FPS type. It's showing default. I don't want to use default. So I'm going to go to the arrow there, click on that arrow, go to custom. It will turn off the capture card because it assumed that I know what I want to do to turn it off. So I'm going to go to the resolution again, click on the resolution. I'm going to pick the highest resolution in that list. So the 1920 by 1080 is the highest there. So I'm going to select it. I'm going to leave the other one, match output frame size. I'm going to leave it like that so that it should just match it. Every other thing, please don't tamper with it. It doesn't concern you. Don't worry, don't tamper with it. You will not even come to it at all throughout your use on OBS. Trust me, except you know what you're doing. And that is beyond the scope of this class. So I'm going to OK it. The video now is now showing on my OBS. If you notice now, moving it around, it's now showing. But it's large. So another thing I can do to sort that, I'm going to right click on the screen. I'm going to show transform. I'm going to fit to screen. Now there is an issue. The issue is that the camera is not outputting properly. It's not showing properly. This camera can do live stream properly, but it's showing the marker on the screen. So I'm going to press a button on this and make sure I fix that. So that is what I just did now is based on your camera. So that's why you should ask me any camera I want to buy. That is the access all of you that are on this training have. Any camera I want to buy, you have the ability of asking me before you buy, so that you're not going to buy a camera that will be showing this on the screen. Look at the way it's showing. It's showing a mark on the face because the type of camera. That's why you should ask before you buy, please. So we just by a press of a button, that will go off. It's now looking like the other one, right? I think a little bit. I even prefer the detail of this one. And even this camera can do longer length of battery. This is what would have been used. Look at the way it rendered the young man's video. It's looking soft. So now I've fixed the screen. Now we have our camera one in, camera video capture device in. So that means we'll have our. Let me go back to this. Look at what I'm doing. Let me go back so that we'll just have one so that we'll not confuse ourselves first. Let's understand one before we move to another one. I'm just clicking this button. Please, if you're editing this, put this part. Put this part. Very important because you can get confused when you see two things like this. Now, we discover that we have our camera one and video capture. Go back to my video. Now, this camera, you're already seeing it on the screen. This one, I'm moving it already. Now, the next thing that is remaining is what? The audio. We need to bring in the audio. How do we bring in the audio now? The same way we bring in the video, we bring in the audio. So we're going to go to the source again. I'm going to click on this again. I'm going to bring audio input capture, right? It's not output. So I'm going to go to the audio input capture. I'm going to click this. Audio input will come in. I'm going to OK it. It's going to show me my device. By default, it's going to take the mic on my camera, on my caption, on my laptop. So I'm going to select this. I'm going to look for this device, this mic that I'm using. Go back again. There are about 5 options here. I have my for microphone, Realtek, and Realtek high definition audio is for the laptop. The cable output is a software that is on the system. Microphone USB 2.0 device is the capture card. Is this capture card? So that means if I select this, what is going to mean is that all the sound going into the camera will be coming into this thing. So if I don't want the sound coming from the camera, I will avoid it entirely. So the source that we need is the digital audio interface audio, which is this. So digital audio interface, this is what it's showing. So I'm going to OK it. So if I OK it, if you notice, it's playing now. If you check on the screen, you hear, right? Look this way. Look, see follow my mouse. Follow my mouse. Look at my mouse. Follow my mouse. See here. So if you don't bring this into your system, you will not be able to get the sound. So you must bring in your video. You must bring in your audio. With this now, you can start live streaming.